Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name is V and today I would like to talk about a little bit of a new experience that I've been having lately. And I didn't get to talk about it. You may have seen a few new videos on this channel that are about FF11, which is definitely the first time of me ever going into the game. And I never really sat down and told you anything about how we started to play, how I feel after the few hours of playing the game, and whether or not I'll be continuing. If you happen to be new here on the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave the video a like, and let me know in the comments if you happen to be an FF11 veteran or a new player or someone who's just excited to see a little bit of FF11 content. Now, just for context, I've recently started playing FF11 and I'm playing it with my partner who is a Final Fantasy XI veteran of a sort, knows a lot about the game, and his experience and knowledge is definitely a big part of my initial experience, because I think that if I had installed FF11 on my own and started playing it, that I would have felt completely different about the game. So I'm just kind of happy to experience my partner's favorite MMORPG in a way that we get to play together and he gets to show me around, but at the same time I'm developing my own opinion about the world that definitely can't be the same as the opinion of someone who used to play the game for a very long time or who is still playing the game and knows a lot about it. Unfortunately, my first and initial, impression of the game wasn't that positive just because of taking so long to set everything up. So when I logged into the game, the controller wasn't set up at all, and my default, way of moving around was the keyboard, so it took a little bit of time to just go through everything and do keybinds, but I understood that this is an old-fashioned experience and that I will simply have to do this. Once we got in, my impression was immediately changed as I realized that the game is a lot less old-fashioned than I thought it would be. When I used to play FF14 on a regular basis, sometimes people would share some screenshots of Final Fantasy XI that admittedly made me think that I probably won't be playing the game anytime soon. However, I also think that these screenshots were shared with the purpose of showing how old-fashioned FF11 is, which is really not the case. At least it wasn't for me when I logged in. And for context, we are playing on Horizon 11, which is one of the private servers, and this is just for me to basically get the taste of the game. And I would love to go on retail and try the game in its current state as well. I simply wasn't sure if I was ready to commit, which I think is completely fine for everyone out there who is umming and ahhing about whether or not they want to give it a try. So the game actually feels and looks okay, and I have nothing against retro at all, but the game itself looks a lot less retro than I thought it might be. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy with how my character looks, how the world is, and I am particularly wowed by the music. So Windurst, I think is pronounced, is the city that we spawned in for the first time, and I think that the soundtrack is just amazing. It's really atmospheric, and going from one zone area into another seems very seamless because there's not a lot of these teleport points. Every time I go through like a narrow passage, I expect to be teleported or phased into another part of the map, but that doesn't happen, which I think is already a huge success. However, I do have to say I am so lost. So lost. This is unlike anything that I've ever experienced, in a way that I don't know what to do in the game, and if I was on my own, I wouldn't know where to even begin. I probably would be going around trying to talk to NPCs, trying to find someone who will give me a quest, but from what I understand, there are no actual quests in the game, which makes it difficult for me to follow directions of any sort. I like directions, I like quests, I like rules, and the fact that it just feels initially like there's none of that in the game, it makes me a little bit uneasy. And luckily I have Neon, who knows how to start the game and what the best thing to do is. So basically what we did is, instead of talking to pretty much anyone apart from an NPC that was stood in front of the big gate, we actually just kind of went outside and decided to do some combat, which is completely fine. I had a lot of fun experiencing that, but I also didn't feel like I got to start the game. Now, we are very, very early, and fun fact, Neon is actually going to be coming over here to visit for a few weeks, and we're going to have the chance to continue our FF11 journey. So hopefully we will scratch more of that itch that now I have. But I also just want to spend more time talking to the NPCs and figuring out what the game is about in general. We also ended up watching the story trailers, which I thought were very, very important for the experience, because I otherwise would not know what to do and what the story is about at all. And this story trailer was actually really, really nice. It felt like the beginning of this incredible story. I just don't know how to get to the story, so hopefully we can kind of, work together towards it. I'm sure that there is some form of dungeon content or raid content, even if it's just outdoors. I'm sure that there is something to do that will lead us to the knowledge of what happened to this little boy who left this city that was essentially ransacked by ogres, what happened to his sister, and so on. It looks like a really, really, really cool story, and everyone tells me that it's incredible, and I have nothing against retro or a little bit of grind at all. I want to experience the essence of the game, and it is a Final Fantasy at the end of the day, and I have no doubts that the story is going to be amazing. And rather than just watching cutscenes on YouTube, I kind of want to experience it for myself, especially that I have someone to actually experience it with. That also brings me to my next point. I think that the game is definitely slower than what I'm used to, and even the combat itself is just so intricate to the point that you can see your character, moving slowly, hitting things, and you can slowly see kind of this, what's it called, like ATB or whatever, like building, so that you can use it for a different attack. It literally, for someone who's used to playing modern MMORPGs, feels like a little bit of a fever dream, and it feels a bit painful to go through these like early growing pains. Mind you, I only have like 2 or 3 spells or something like that, so I am nowhere near close to unlocking the potential of my character, and I do hope that things pick up at least somewhat. But now I understand that in comparison, FF14 at the beginning is not slow at all, so they definitely made progress there, but I would love to get a few more levels and get a feel for how my character behaves. I would like to be a paladin, but from my understanding, in order to do that, I would need to get monk leveled up, which I believe I'm doing right now, and also warrior, if I'm not mistaken, because of some sub-jobs and some spells that I will need. That's pretty much all I know about the class. I normally end up playing paladin pretty much everywhere, and hopefully I can be good enough in it to experience the game, have fun with it, and hopefully return even to FF14 with a little bit of a changed perspective on MMORPGs. For now, I'm still at the very beginning, still very, very much enjoying the initial experience, and I can't wait to play again. What are your thoughts on FF11 in general? Have you played the game? Do you know something like some beginner tips and tricks that would help me experience the game better? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Leave a like on the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye bye.